Hey, very good morning to you, traders. Tiago Andrade here from the Trading Cage. How are you today? You guys doing all right? Well, today is the 10th of March, and we are going to start our live as we do every day to have a look and map our beautiful gold and see what gold is doing today at the moment. Let's see. Yesterday, um, gold went to those minimals once again, um, to that regional support as we had anticipated, and then it made a almost full recovery, and is now once again above our support and above all those 50% that we have been tracking. So it's doing quite a good movement. Let's see how it's gonna react. Oh, look at this. I got a good shorting opportunity here. Let's see if it'll come and grab us. Today I shorted this market quite many times actually. Where are my 50s? Oh, they're here. All right. So price is not beating that high area. It's gonna need to come down here to the region of the 50% of the day once again, to grab that take, to grab some more liquidity before it moves on its way up. I actually put my take down here. Should come around here. But let's have a look. If it moves 400 points, we'll put it on break even. All right. Cool. Let's go over to our daily chart to see what's happening down there. 1 minute, he's trying to reject those trigger candles to the left. Let me just go through this trade here and then we'll start our mapping of that price. What are you trying to do, buddy? You don't have enough liquidity to continue on your way up, so you must get liquidity from below. It is a regional support, 50% of the day. But let's see how this is going. Cool. I have shorted these market 3 times this morning, actually, while I went to the gym, and those 3 times paid. I thought that these market now would have broken through these maximum high here of today, but it looks like it ran out of liquidity. So if it ran out of liquidity, it would have to come back down to grab some more liquidity below. It's already below 50% of these movement. Okay, so It should continue to go down until the minimal of that movement once again. If it does a rejection pattern here and gives us a three candle pattern, then I'll take my my short trade out and then I'll put a long trade in. But at the moment, it doesn't tell me that it is rejecting this region because it is below this trigger candle here and it is below trigger candle 152. I'm going to wait for those. All right. Let's go over to our daily chart while this is going through. I haven't cleared my chart yet since yesterday. Clear this out, make it easier for everybody to see. So yesterday, we talked about how we would wait to see how far candle 47 would come down. We were expecting candle 47 to come down as far as trigger candle 33. That did not happen. I was hoping that candle 47 would have grabbed the liquidity below candle 43 here, okay? Because it has come to this region of support quite many times actually, and so far it hasn't grabbed that liquidity. So if price cannot continue on its way up, it's going to have to come down to grab that liquidity below, and that's a fact. All right. So we are expecting price to come and grab that, but it did grab all the liquidity below all the other candles. At the moment, the candle that opened up yesterday, it did a movement down, then it went up, and it can't beat this maximum high of yesterday just yet. It's running out of liquidity at that region. So at the moment, it's still telling me that it needs to grab a little bit more liquidity so it can stop those guys at the maximum high. Once again, we do have a lot of liquidity up here. Okay. So there is a lot of stops in this region here. And not only on that region there, we have got this whole inefficiency here from candle 43, which when we start getting those stop losses in there, price should accelerate and pay us actually some good money up here. The market has confirmed the pullback to the highs, but still it hasn't fulfilled that pullback. Okay, so we are above 50% of this macro movement once again. We are above the support. We are above the support of the 5084. We're above that. This is a very strong support as we can see. So right now we are expecting this price to continue on its way up. The stopping point, relevant stopping point we have at the moment is pretty much 5258. Okay, we just need to make sure that on the micro movement we get some good movements up. Okay, that are going to go and stop those guys up there. At the moment, all it's showing me is that it needs to grab more liquidity below. Okay, let's just have a look at one thing here. High of 42, low of 43. So we are still below this 50%. So once we get over this 50% here of this last movement, we should see some acceleration on our price going up. Good morning, Sabu. How are you? It's good to have you here. So this is what we can see on the macro movement, okay, on the daily chart. We are above trigger candle 19 once again. We are also above support. We are below the next resistance, that is 5258. We are also below the 50% of this movement. All right, I'm tracking here on 1 minute how my trade's doing. If this price comes back up here and it starts breaking through these trigger candles, I'll take that trade out. I still believe that price should go back down to grab some more liquidity in there, but we can see quite a big rejection of this movement right here when candle 171 breaks through. If candle 172 doesn't come back down, then I'm taking my trade out. Let's see how candle 172 will react. If it breaks through trigger candle 168, I'm out. I'll stop short because I want to have other better trades when the US market opens. I have done a little bit some other trades this morning, so I've got fetch a burn on these trades, so it's all good. All right, so let's go over to our 1 hour chart here to map this. We can see that we had on the 1 hour here, we had a trend line. I'm gonna make this trend line on the lower time frames, okay, instead of doing it here. But what we can see here is for the last pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, we are consolidated in this region here. So in consolidation zones, easiest ways to trade is you buy at support, you sell at resistance. But right now we have generated so much liquidity up here that's not funny. Like there is a lot of stops in this region. Once price gets around these regions, it should really accelerate. The main issue is that when it accelerates, it doesn't give us a good entry point, okay? Every time it accelerates, it will just go through to try to grab that inefficiency above. So it's not going to be an easy trade to get into if we don't get it on the right timing. All right. So easiest way is we wait for price to break through that 50% of the movement. Once it does, then we'll buy down here and we'll try to hold the trade until the upper regions. If it breaks through the upper regions and comes back inside of the movement and inside of the structure, then we can let that trade go. But that's the easiest way of trying to trade these breakthroughs here, okay? I'm gonna get these out because that inefficiency is gone. That was from yesterday. We also had this liquidity here. That's gone. We still have this one down here. But price may not come back down here today to grab this. So let me just change that color. Pink. Okay, so we got stops down here. This is that region of support. We have got a lot of stops in this region here, just below 50% of the day. There's quite a lot of stops in there. Let me have a look how this trade is acting up. Looks like it will come back to the 50% of this retraction. So I'm gonna take my trade out. Just waiting for 1 minute to break through. Closes above, I'm out. It did close inside the trigger candle 168, so I'm out. I'll wait for that price to break through that 50, and then I'll look for a long trade, okay, if that's the case. Now, if it does a rejection here, then I'll be looking to short again because we have this. Look at this. We are now generating liquidity below here, which is below all trigger candles to the left-hand side. Cool, let's go back to our 1 hour. So in here, we have got a consolidation here in this region. We have got support on this 5170, okay, which is pretty much where our price was. There's a good support here. We have got a trigger candle 30 here who has been holding this price from everybody that's trying to get these liquidity below. Also, we've got 50% of the day, which is in this region of support here just above candle 24. So right now we've got very strong support at 50% and very strong resistance point just above here on this region. So put liquidity above. On the 15 minutes, pretty much same thing. We can see that price has been holding through here on this maximum high. We do have a resistance up above. We've got trigger candle 54 here, where price is coming up. It's coming up to it right now. Let's see how this price will behave. If it does break this 50% and test down, gets into these trigger candles, I would be happy to go long on this trade, okay? The only thing that I was not happy about is that price should have grabbed liquidity below. It didn't do it. And since it didn't do it, it's really hard for me to know if it has enough liquidity to break through those highs. One other thing that we can see also is that price has confirmed pullback here, and then it goes and it fails the pullback when candle 169 breaks through trigger candles below, and it goes fails the pullback and there's another pullback into the 50% of this movement. So not really good at the moment, but it could fail a failed pullback, which means that market would not be responding to the readings properly today. So we got to pay extra attention to it. Normally, when it confirms a pullback, it will go down and it will renew the lower lows, okay? But it can go make a retraction up to the 50% before coming back. Reason I did not hold that trade is that when candle 172 comes down and then it tests the support once again and breaks through that support, it tells me that the support is quite strong, so price will have a harder time to come back down and break through it. So there's no point of us holding a trade that could go against us. Let me have a look at that. We have a trend line here that I want to find. Where is it? I'm gonna take this trend line out because this one has been broken through too many times. So I'll take that one out. And let's see how this looks. Mm. So we had this trend line this morning, but that has been broken through already. And the 173 did not break through that 50%. 174 is doing it right now. Let's see if it confirms. It doesn't have to go in one candle. It could wait a little bit, couldn't it? But again, this is the gold, and when the gold goes, it actually doesn't look back. It doesn't matter who's doing what and who is trying to do something about it. It just goes. So how are you guys? Do you guys have got any questions? Are you guys fine? Had a good day? How was your trades yesterday? And the 174 is coming back into the structure. It could give us a three candle pattern here to the minimals. Okay. We are below 50%. If it rejects that 50% and next candle tests up, but then candle 174 needs to close inside of candle 173 for that to configure as a three candle pattern. If it breaks through, then we've got another trade, another setup. Over here on the 15 minutes, we are getting into the region of those triggers. But now candle 58 is actually getting into the trigger candle 54. Let's see how candle 174 will close, because it does need to close inside of those trigger candles to tell us that we've got a strong movement up and that we could go long. Let's see how that will do. All right, so now we do have a trade to go long. So I'm gonna, come on, let me click, let me click. Let's see if we can do this. We're above 50%. We're above our triggers here on the 5 minutes. Okay, it is a region of resistance. Um, it could come back down. Now, this is the opening of candle 59. So it could test as far as the maximum high of candle 57 here. Of course, we don't want that price to go there, but it could go. Okay, just letting you know. It could make a pullback on the 50% region of our Fibonacci. So the test down here at candle 59, it's quite normal, okay? It's the opening of the 15-minute candle, so it does need to test. We've got a good movement on the 1 minute. Let's see how this pullback on the 1 minute will react. Until where it will actually make that pullback. Now we only have to wait for the market to do what it has to do. We've got good healthy movements here on the 1 minute. We want to see price starting to break through. If price comes below this 50% and closes below the 50, then we know that this price will actually come down. So we'll take our trade out with a small stop, okay? Now, during for our technique that we use, once price breaks through the 50, test down the 50% region, test support, we have a good continuous trade to go up. At the moment, as I said before, I would be a lot happier if candle 170 had got that liquidity below, but it didn't in the end of the day. It came back into the structure. So this now turns into a long trade. Over the 50%, we are buyers. Below 50%, we are sellers, taking in consideration our resistance points and also support points. In the 1 minute here, it's starting to get a bit consolidated after a healthy movement up. So the market, it went up, made pullbacks, so created support regions, and then continued on its way up. I'm not quite happy about this consolidation here, but as I said on the 15 minutes, price can still come down to test that trigger candle below before it starts, it continues on its way up. Candle 175 hasn't broken through 174's high. Let's see if 176 will actually break through. We've got trigger candles here on the 15 minutes to the left, and that's what's holding the price. Candle 176 renews maximum highs. All right, so Rafaela, why do you use just 3 levels on the Fibonacci? We just use 3 levels on the Fibonacci because the market moves between a high, low, and 50%, okay? So this is why we don't need those other rejection levels. If you have a look, the 50% regions, they are um, a region of price equality. So price will always look, it will create a high and then we'll create a low and we'll come into that 50% region. And that's what price will use as support most of the time. All right. So this is why we only use those three levels on our Fibonacci's. Okay. And it works wonders. Um, this 50%. That's why we use always we wait for prices to break through either to the high or to the lows before we start doing bits and pieces. But you see that with price equality of price regions, you see that prices will get into those regions and then you accumulate and then it will break through, and when it breaks it will go create new highs, and it will always obey that region of the 50%. Okay, it doesn't mean that 50% is a line, it means that 50% is a region. So candle 176 here renews new highs, and then price on candle 877 is coming back to test support once again. It's testing trigger candle 877. It should just continue on its way up, but it does have a barrier to the left here, so we got to be a little bit patient about this. Let's see how this 1 minute will behave. We're getting quite a big pressure from sellers here at this point. One thing that we must see to show us that this trade is actually healthy is we must see candles breaking through maximum highs of the candles to the left. At the moment, candle 175 did not break through the highs of candle 174, and candle 176 is not looking like it's going to do it either. So we've got to pay attention to that. If it doesn't break through, this will mean that price will have to come down lower to grab liquidity and then continue its way up. Only issue, as I said when we opened up the our arena today, is that price did not grab the liquidity below, and this is what I did not like in the beginning. Okay. Candle 116 looking a little bit like a doji. Let's see if we get pressure from buyers here. Candle 177 is testing up. Is gonna have to come and renew minimals of candle 176. Let's see how candle 177 will behave. On the 1 minute here, we are above 50% of this last movement. candle 880. Closed above last candle's high, but then 881 is trying to come back down. Price hasn't broken through trigger candle 874 yet. I want the 1 minute. It has confirmed pullback to the highs. So we should see candles actually winning that maximum high on the 1 minute. But if price doesn't manage to break through that high of the 1 minute right now, we could see a rejection of these regions. So price would probably come back lower to grab liquidity, okay? Too many trigger candles to the left. I'm holding this price, and the top is starting to get a bit rounded. So when it gets a bit rounded, it has a tendency of coming back down to correct the price. Candle 882 did not break through candle 881. Still have a minute and 44 seconds to go. Candle 177 is coming to renew that that old high. So it has completed the obligations of the pullback. Big push from buyers here. Let's see if it will continue to break through, or if it will bring price back into the movement. Got 500 points, 400 points into the trade. That's very good. We are getting really close to our point of partial. That point is a really good point to take partials out because it is a resistance to the left. Okay, so partials are paid. Very good. There you go. Now, what you can do is you can hold this trade to see if it will actually break through these old highs here. Okay, as we said in the beginning, there's a lot of liquidity above, and if price gets into those regions, it will accelerate. So one thing that we can do now is put our price on break even. So now we don't lose money anymore in this trade. And then we can hold for the rest. So these are the two things you can do. You can actually take your take right now, take it out, since we have done over 600 points. This trigger candle here, 159, can hold the price Also, candle 130 can hold the price, okay? So you gotta see what is best for you. If you do want to hold this trade, just in case this price does go and renew those last highs, make sure you put your price on break even, but then you're playing around with 800 points, okay? This is a good take. So you've got to know exactly what you want out of this trade. Do you want to put your trade in your pocket right now? Or do you want to pay to see if price will break through? At the moment on 1 minute, we've got healthy movements here, price breaking through quite fine. We've got 2 minutes to go, but now we have reached a region of trigger candles to the left. Let's see if this is just a test or just a pullback on candle 887. Candle 60 here on the 15 minutes did not test down, okay? So let's hope that it will just break through and it will not look back down to test. Candle 178 is showing a bit of a rejection here. Let's see if this will just be a pullback on 1 minute. Candle 178 closed over the trigger candle, over the resistance, okay? But it closed on its minimal region, which means that candle 179 has to come and test the minimal of candle 178. Let's see if it will confirm pullback to the highs here on the 1 minute. If it doesn't, I'll take my trade out in this account. I'll leave the other ones because I have done some partials on the other ones. Only reason I'll take this one out is because we had that stop in the beginning of our arena. So I want to make sure that I get a little bit of that stop out. Okay, 30. There's a 50% region here. You can't break through. 890. Close, breaking through 889. Candle 60 testing down now. This is what I didn't want it to do, so it didn't test before. So now it has to test. And the region, candle 891 did close. I'm taking this trade out. The reason I didn't want the other ones I can hold, I'm safe on the other ones. Let me have a look. Oh, these ones are good. Okay. All right. So the reason I didn't want candle 60 to test is because our entry point was basically here at candle 59. The region that candle 60 needs to test right now is pretty much the reason of our break even. So it would take us out on our break even anyways, okay? Because it does need to test that region before it goes back to the old highs. Once again, we are trading on a consolidation zone. So it came here into a region of the highs. As I said, if you wanted to hold this trade, you could hold it, but what you would have against you is that price could come down and take you at break even. It was a good trade of 800 points. I wanted to hold this trade because price on candle 60 was above our trigger candles to the left. So I was hoping that price would move up. Right, so big rejection here of these resistance region. Let's see how it goes. Some of my students, one thing that I always tell them is don't worry. If price took you at a break even or even took you at a stop loss in a trade, don't worry about it. Come back. If you want, just go for a walk, have a cup of water, relax a little bit, then come back to the chart and do your analysis, make your analysis again. So some people, when they're not professionals, what they will do is they'll get really tense and nervous about a trade, and they'll say, "Oh, it took me at a loss," or "It came back and took me at my break even." That's why you need to have a plan. So I have a plan. I know how much I can lose, what my stop losses for the day will be, and what my stop gain will be. When you have those sort of plans in place and your risk management in place, you don't get really nervous about that because what counts is not the result of one day. What counts is the result of the whole month that you trade. Okay. So trading is not just a trade that you make in one day. It's throughout the month what your performance is. Because some days will be really good, some days will be a bit tricky, some days are days that you can not even trade, it won't give you any entrances, so then you just don't trade on those days, all right? So don't worry about these sort of things. Just make sure that your risk management is in place. So whatever happens, you're safe, your capital is safe. One thing that I do use is I use prop firms as well. So when I use prop firms, I have the same sort of risk management in place so I can make sure that I don't break my accounts. Cool. It's almost 10 o'clock. I do have to go. What are the analysis here? The analysis here is if price breaks through these high, okay, breaks through these trigger candles here, we will have good movements going up, okay? What we need to see now, since we have such a big resistance here, And we also can see some sort of a short here on the 5 minutes. So we've got this trend line here going down. We've got to make sure the price starts breaking through these structures. At the moment, it made a higher high, then a lower low, and then a lower high, then a higher low. So price is triangulating at the moment until it actually breaks through. When it does break through, we should get a really good movement, okay? Because we are now getting, we've got liquidity up here, we've got liquidity up here, we've got liquidity up here, and a pool of liquidity up there. Same thing counts for below. We have a whole bunch of liquidity below candle 170, below candle 153, and below candle 73. If price breaks through these lows here, it could accelerate to the minimals. All right. So what we want to see is if price is actually going to start breaking through this 50 and coming back below this trend line. I still believe that this price is going to the highs, okay? But we've got to wait for the market to show us and to give us a entry point. Candle 60 came here to the region of our break even. It tested candle 58, is coming back up right now. Let's see if it will break the trigger candle number 178. If it does and breaks through this resistance point here, it could give us another entry for a long trade. But you're going to need to wait to see if it actually breaks through trigger candles, okay? Because if it doesn't, then there's no point. Too bad that candle 179 came to take us out of our trade, but it would have taken us out on our break even. All right. So guys, this is pretty much it for today. I do have to go because I've got a trade with our students. So this is pretty much it. If price starts breaking through this 50%, break through this trend line, we could see an acceleration coming down to the low points. But now at the opening of the American market, we have got lots of liquidity up above for the price to grab. So just keep an eye out for it, okay? If candle 180 here or 181 start breaking through these trigger candles, we would have, oh, look at this. This is a good movement up. Oh, it didn't allow me to get in. Too quick. So I missed that entry point. Candle 180 closed inside of trigger candle 159. And now it's going to do what we have been expecting. Okay. All right. It is what it is. It didn't manage to get into that one, but we'll get into other ones. All right. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Okay, it was great to be here today. Um, good movements on the chart. Oh, look at that. It's going to accelerate and grab all of that in one candle. That's not fair. Oh, look. Renew the maximum high. If it accelerates, it will be really difficult to get into that trade. All right, guys, I do have to go. It is 10 o'clock. Thank you very much. This is the trading cage. For you that came across this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, okay, to our channel, and share this channel with your friends. It is awesome to do this every day, to be part of this project. And today it took us out on break even on the other prop firms where I took partials out. We're still live on this trade, so this is really good. And I hope that our analysis every day is helping you guys to learn more about the market. Okay, thank you very much. God bless, and I will see you tomorrow. for some more trading cage. And this is where we beat the gold.